guys. So recently we had a question basically asking us how to move on from somebody. Let me tell you, moving on from somebody is one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my entire life. It sucks, especially if you are crazy for that person, which I was crazy for somebody that was hard to move on from. She was my first love, she was my best friend, she was everything I could ever ask for. She made me realize who I was. And there was a whole lot of stuff that went on throughout that time I was with her. I became crazy obsessed with her. I kept everything, her pictures, the letters, notes that we passed in class, pictures that she drew. And it came to the point where my love for her was more like an obsession, like a crazy psycho obsession, because my mom didn't like her that much, and she knew our relationship was unhealthy. So I would secretly go and sneak out to see her, and I would call her from payphones because I didn't have a cell phone. So that's basically how I tried keeping in contact with her, and I just had to see her all the time, and it was just really crazy. Because of my obsession with her, my mom suggested that we move to a different place, and I had to go to a different school, and let me tell you, I was upset. I couldn't see Madison, I couldn't see people that were friends with Madison, and I just went crazy. I blew up. I became depressed, I became angry. My relationship with my mother kind of just went away, because I used to be best friends with my mom, and now we are not so much best friends anymore. So I was at a new school, I was at a new place. I still was obsessed with Madison, but little did I know that being away from her was probably the best thing for me, because I had to figure out that I was crazy. Because in my mind, I didn't think I was being crazy. I thought I was in love. I thought I was going to be with her forever and ever, even though she didn't even look at me as a girlfriend. We were just best friends who had benefits. But I thought that maybe one day she'll realize that we can be together. So I ended up not liking to live at my mom because I hated her so much for keeping me away from Madison. So I thought, hey, I can move to my dad's, and then maybe I can talk to Madison. So I did, and things just got worse. I found a new girlfriend to see if Madison would even try to miss me or get jealous or something like that. As I lived with my dad, I was able to go see Madison because they didn't know about my obsession. They didn't know that I was crazy about her. They just knew that I did things with her. So they let me go and see her sometimes, and I was the happiest person ever, except I wasn't. She seemed like she was moving on fine without me, and I was getting really upset. I was also really upset because she didn't want to do things with me, because she said that she wasn't like that. But she ended up doing things with somebody else, another Chelsea, who I ended up hating for the longest time. But now she's probably one of my really good friends, and that's a crazy story. But it took me a total of 2 years to finally move on from her. And that sounds ridiculous, I know, but you just had to be in my shoes to actually know what I'm talking about. And Madison would always play with my mind. Even though I was kind of over her, this was before I was completely over her, I got kind of over her. But I would see her, and she would want to do things with me. And I would think, oh, this is my chance, she actually wants me back. And so we'd do things, and then she'd just be like, okay, I just wanted to see how it felt, if it felt the same. And I would get so upset, because she was playing with not only my mind, but she was playing with my heart. She knew how I felt about her. and she just kept playing these games with me, and I would just cry every single night because I wanted to know what the other Chelsea had that I didn't. Because it was so easy for Madison to be like me with this other Chelsea. Madison was completely obsessed with this other Chelsea, and I was just completely confused. That whole era of my life was completely confusing and completely ridiculous, and I look back and I think of how stupid I was. How completely and utterly stupid I was. Moral of the story, basically how you move on from somebody. You know, it's not easy. It is not. You know, some people are able to move on from people like that. Some people, they never move on from somebody. But you just realize, you know, you gotta take yourself away from that person for a while, and you gotta start doing things with your life, and then you start realizing that I had all of this going on over here for me, but I decided to focus my attention on this person. And you realize how dumb you were, and you realize how great of a life you have, and you just know. A lot of people say that you move on when you meet somebody else. Well, I met a lot of different people, and I didn't move on from Madison. I still thought about her when I was with them. I still wanted to talk to her. I still kept her things. In fact, as of last year, before I moved here, I actually found all that stuff. And I looked through it, and I was like, this wasn't love. This was an obsession. This was me wanting to be with somebody because deep down I was so lonely. So you just wake up one day and you just know. A lot of people might argue with me and be like, no, it's more complicated than that. But in all honesty, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to look around at your life and you're going to realize that I shouldn't be waiting for this one person. If it was meant to be, it was meant to be. It's actually funny that this issue came up because Madison wants to come and see me. You know, she wants to be friends with me again because she regrets treating me so shitty. And all that time I was with her, I felt like I was on the bottom. Like I couldn't do anything. She had the upper hand. But now I have the upper hand and I say no. I don't need to see you. I don't think I should see you. You changed my life for the better and the worst. You know, you made my life hell. You made me completely get rid of my family for you, and you didn't even feel the same way about me. But in a way, I thank her because she actually helped me figure out who I was. So she's always going to be a part of my life, like on the inside, but I'm not going to try to be friends with her. When you are ready to move on from somebody, you know, but don't sit down and focus all of your time and all of your energy on this one person. Try doing other things to get your mind off this person, and later on, as you keep doing things that get your mind off, sooner or later that person's going to be out of your mind, and if they start trying to talk to you and stuff and trying to play games with your mind, just ignore them. I know it would be tempting to be like, oh yeah, I want to talk to you again, but don't, because you're just going to end up going back down. It's like a drug. You have to withdraw yourself, and you can't go backwards, or else you'll just be where you started, and you won't get anywhere. So it just takes time, and it takes patience, and it's not easy. It also helps to try to talk to somebody, try to hang out with other people, but eventually you will get through it. And I hope this helped. It sounded a lot better in my head, but then I spit it out and it comes out as a bunch of blah blah blah. So, yeah, good luck to you guys if you're trying to move on from somebody, and have a nice day.